So, starting off, why is sleep important? Well, it's a time for regeneration. Personally, sleep helps me feel refreshed and refueled and ready for a new day. But also, there's numerous other factors and benefits from sleep that have been found through studies. And interestingly enough, teens who do not get enough sleep are more likely to be overweight, not get enough physical activity, suffer from more mental health disorders, participate in unhealthy behaviors such as drinking, smoking, and using drugs, as well as performing poorly in school. Okay, so let's talk. How important is sleep to you? Do you notice any changes in your attitude or productivity when you don't get a good night's sleep or too much? Personally, when I don't get a good night's sleep, I'm very irritable. I feel like I'm not as productive the next day. And when I get too much, I can sometimes become stressed because I feel like I've wasted a lot of my day. So there's actually something called optimal sleep. And essentially, it's the amount of sleep needed to feel and perform our best, meaning that too much and too little sleep are both not great. Um, and we do not all have the same needs. It's very individual based, and it's also based on age and a number of other factors, what kind of activities you're involved with during the day, stressors, if you exercise, number of activities. Um, but younger adolescents do need more sleep. So their optimal sleep tends to be a little bit higher. And younger adolescents would be, young teenagers, preteens. And it's also been found that those who get more sleep are experience less stress. Okay. So there are some natural factors that affect sleep in our body. The first is a circadian rhythm, which is a cycle that our body goes through. It's basically like we're going from light to deep sleep multiple times throughout the night. It's also known as like a sleep wake cycle. So there's a period called REM sleep, which is your deepest sleep. It's when you're dreaming, it's when you're getting your most restful sleep. You're feeling refreshed and restored. Um, and it's important for us to have a lot of REM sleep in the night. So we want to go through this cycle multiple times and have multiple REM sleeps. But this whole cycle is controlled by the sun and darkness because that determines melatonin release. Now, melatonin is a hormone that causes sleepiness. So our body secretes it and we feel more sleepy. I bet you've probably seen, maybe you take it, maybe your parents take it. Melatonin supplements are very popular these days. And, you take like 5 milligrams of melatonin, it helps you fall asleep faster. Um, Interestingly, your levels fluctuate throughout the day. So light inhibits it and dark enhances it. So your body knows when it's light out that it's the day and it's time to be up. So your secretion of melatonin is going to be less. But when it becomes dark and it's night, you're going to start secreting more melatonin because your body knows it's time to go to sleep soon. Okay, so now getting to the point of technology and sleep. Technology can include, a wide variety of things: phones, laptops, iPads, desktops, gaming devices like Xbox. Um, and we're going to specifically talk about technology use before bedtime, before going to sleep. And teens use technology before bed for a number of reasons. Um, I've listed a few here, but there's so many more. So there's communicating with friends, texting, FaceTiming, Snapchatting, entertainment, whether that be watching YouTube videos, scrolling through Twitter or Facebook, the list goes on, or like posting and creating content. Those are all some examples. But there can be a lot of difficulties with actually putting the phone down. And a lot of research has been dedicated to this and figuring out why it is so hard to put your phone down at night. One of those is FOMO, which is called the fear of missing out. And it's basically this phenomenon. Um, for an example, let's say all of your friends are hanging out and they're Snapchatting each other in your Snapchat group chat, and you don't want to go to sleep and put your phone down because you don't want to miss anything. You don't want to feel like you're being left out and, not going to be up to date with all the gossip or the information. So that's one of the reasons. There's also difficulty ending conversations. A lot of teens find it hard to put their phone down if they're in the middle of a conversation because it's not really, it seems rude and not accepted by society. And also, phones are very stimulating. I know when I'm on my phone before bed, I feel a lot more awake. It kind of takes my sleepiness away. So that can be another difficulty. Now, how do we know all of these things? Well, we've had a lot of studies examining the effects of technology before bed, particularly on teens and adolescents. And what a lot of these studies have found was that more screen time is related to shorter sleep, and less screen time resulted in earlier release of melatonin and more sleep on average. So, using your phone less, you get more melatonin going, that sleepy hormone, and you're going to go to sleep earlier, you're going to have more sleep. So what? Well, it's up to you. The point of this presentation was to inform you about how technology affects sleep. Um, Maybe it doesn't really affect your sleep that much, or you don't really have a problem with being on your phone too much before bed, but just some ideas to adjust technology use if you're trying to improve your sleep. You could use no screens an hour before bed. You could set limits on your screen time, or you could sleep with all your technology in another room. Those are just some little tips I found helpful and I'm working on implementing myself. So, a final little discussion point. Do you think you'll change the way you use technology before bed at all? So, just a little take home point. That's all for today. Thank you so much.